Howard County has the most expensive gas in central Maryland. That's at $4.05 a gallon for regular. Carroll County has the cheapest at $3.95 a gallon. Experts warn if the war does not end before the summer, the seasonal demand for gas could push prices up to $6 a gallon. Well, a new UMBC poll found 1/3 of residents believe the cost of living here in the state is the most important issue.
Brianna Ross joins us now. So how are gas prices factoring into this concern, Brianna?
Well, it's playing a big role, and it's easy to see why. I mean, look at the two gas stations behind me. You'll pay $4.04 or $4.09 a gallon for regular gas. Now, it is important to note that the researchers with UMBC, they started conducting this poll 2 weeks ago. So this was before gas prices got this high, compounding affordability concerns. Affordability, is that a top concern for you right now?
I would say it's a pretty top concern for me. It's just one of those things where things just get more expensive every day and it's not getting any better.
I would say it's ridiculous what's going on. It's gone up astronomically, the price of everything.
You don't have to look far to find higher prices from gas pumps to grocery stores.
I can't think of one thing that hasn't gone up.
It's putting pressure on, I think, everybody at different levels.
And a new UMBC poll reflects that. Dr. Malia Cromer and her team at the UMBC Institute of Politics surveyed over 800 Marylanders across the state between March 17th and March 22nd. Affordability is top of mind for many.
We asked people just to identify what they thought, in their own words, was the most important issue. Right off the bat, things that bubble to the top are cost of living issues.
About 40% said that cost of living, affordability, prices, and energy or utility costs are the most important issue facing the state. About 7 in 10 people say groceries, gas, and electric bills are less affordable now than they were a year ago, with about a quarter of people saying they are angry, concerned, or stressed when they open their monthly electricity bill.
It's a larger, broader picture about how Marylanders are being affected right now. I think it's important that government reflects the will of the people and that they're talking about and they're addressing the issues that people care about.
And that's what people from the gas pumps to grocery stores want to see.
It just seems like one thing gets some relief, another thing goes up. So I'm ready for that pendulum to stop swinging and things to really level out predictably soon. So here's for hoping.
And about half of the folks who participated in the poll say they are very or extremely concerned about health care and medical costs, while over 60% say that they are very or extremely concerned about the future of our country. Live in North Baltimore, I'm Brianna Ross, WBAL-TV 11 News.